Everything began when the mutineers, fleeing British justice aboard the ship Bounty, sought refuge on this island. After their arrival, the island's plants would witness a series of events ruled by alcoholic leaders and tragic massacres. The Polynesians, who had long since vanished from history, first arrived on this island in the 11th century, establishing a settlement with the animals they brought along. The island of plants was rich in valuable obsidian and quality stone reserves. The people lived happily in this paradise-like land, using the minerals they mined for trade with the inhabitants of the Angara Island, located 500 kilometers away. Considering its location, it's not difficult to see that this island was one of the most remote places in the world. When the first settlers arrived, they likely saw it as an oasis and made the most of its resources. However, after 400 years, the island's minerals began to run out and trade relations broke down. As resources dwindled, the islanders gradually fell into poverty. The frustration brought on by this poverty led to internal conflicts and civil wars. Once blood was shed, the end was near. The Polynesians, weakened by both famine and the impossibility of escaping, slowly perished. Eventually, the island became deserted and silence reigned. In 1787, Britain sent the ship Bounty to the Pacific Ocean. Its mission was to collect breadfruit trees to help feed the diverse populations of the Caribbean. However, when the crew arrived at Tahiti, they were overwhelmed by the abundance of women and the tropical paradise. They stayed there for months, but eventually had to leave to complete their mission. However, the sailors, no longer interested in the harsh life at sea, mutinied. Led by Fletcher Christian, the mutineers set Captain William Bligh and 18 loyal men adrift in a small boat. Remarkably, Bligh managed to row 6,500 kilometers to safety. Meanwhile, Christian and his crew returned to Tahiti, unaware that Bligh had survived. Bligh, seeking revenge, reported the mutiny to the British government and set off to capture the mutineers. His first stop was Tahiti, where he arrested and executed many of the mutineers. Christian, along with a few men and some Tahitian women and slaves, fled to find a new refuge, the island of plants. By 1790, the island's population consisted of 9 European sailors, 12 Tahitian women, and 6 male slaves. Tensions grew due to the unequal distribution of women, and as alcohol became more prevalent, so did conflict. The Tahitian men, upset by their treatment, rose up and killed most of the European sailors. However, the rebellion was short-lived. The Tahitian women, seeking revenge, killed the remaining male slaves in their sleep. Now, only 4 sailors and 11 women were left on the island. Over time, the last surviving sailor, Adams, became the island's leader, and he began spreading Christian teachings. Under his leadership, the island transformed into a religious community. When British Royal Navy ships arrived in 1808, they found what appeared to be a respectful, devout group of people. However, the island's dark history was far from over. By the early 1900s, the island had become a part of the British government, and efforts to modernize it began. But in 2004, several men on the island were convicted of child abuse and imprisoned. Even the island's mayor was implicated. After this scandal, the island's leadership changed, but the problems persisted. The new mayor was later arrested for possessing child pornography. Today, the island's population is about 50 people, and leadership changes continue. However, the dark past of the island remains unresolved.